Welcome back to Regular Guys Outdoors. I'm Chris. Today is Friday, April 13th, Friday the 13th, and it's the day before we open spring turkey season here in Colorado. Now, I drew a limited turkey tag this year, and so right now I'm heading out east. Well, it's September 10th, 2017. I'm actually driving up to Wisconsin, but on the way I wanted to check out this piece of public ground because I'm probably going to apply for my spring turkey tag here. It's an area that's part of the limited draw. It's supposed to have a good amount of Rio turkeys in here. So we kind of got a little blizzard going on and it's very, very windy. I don't know if you can hear that or not. Let me drop the windows. Yeah, so we're talking 30-35 mile an hour winds coming out of the northwest. We got some snow going on. It's not quite sticking to the roads right now because it's about 40 degrees. However, tomorrow morning it's supposed to be 20 degrees with a wind chill of about 3. So I don't know how that's going to play out in the morning, but 3, we'll see. On the last bridge I just went under, they're blocking off the gates that allow you onto I-70, so they're closing down the highway. Well, there's some turkey down there. That's one right in the center of the screen. The truck is wobbling around in the wind hard. There's another one just to the left of the tree. That's 2. As we go along here, on the left is Kansas, on the right is Colorado. Well, the getting out here early and getting a little look at the place and a little recon, that didn't really work out. The roads are terrible. I can't see. The snow is really starting to come in now. So I'm just sitting in the back of the truck having some snacks and waiting to cook a little dinner. I've got one of those low-sitting turkey chairs back here. So I'm up off the bed, which is good because the bed has some ice and water in it. And just kind of strategize for how I'm going to do my sleeping arrangement and how I'm going to get out there in the morning. I got the passenger side of the truck here into the wind because that's probably going to get iced over real good, and I'd like for my driver's side door not to get iced over so I can get in the morning. Hopefully the ridges in the bed liner keep the water and ice below me tonight and nothing gets frozen too solid. If I would have thought about this a little better, I would have packed just a little tighter and only had this row of stuff here so I can sleep right here. And right now the only thing I got outside is a table, a chair that fold up, and a 5-gallon cooler. Other than that, I've actually got space to lay down right here. Well folks, I gotta admit, I'm a little miserable right now, and I'm afraid it might not get much better if I get any of my stuff wet. I got ice and water in the bed. I've got water underneath everything. So I'm hoping that at least if the sleeping bag gets wet, it's going to maintain its insulation value. It is a synthetic bag, and I shouldn't get it too wet, but I think there's definitely going to be pieces of it that get wet. Now I'll try to keep my other stuff dry. Hopefully I can get the inside dried out tomorrow, but it's only supposed to be a high of about 38 or 40. So we'll see about that. Good morning folks. It's still windy as can be. We got a bunch of frozen water droplets on the roof here. I set up in a ground blind trying to stay out of some of this wind, and I'm kind of in a windbreak kind of a deal. I got some trees and a field off to my right, and then I've got these cedar bushes on my left breaking the wind. So right here, these are the footprints of a lone hen as I went back to the truck for some chow. After some chow, I went back to the blind for about 3 hours. At about 1:30 or so, I went back to the truck. Something to think about when it's cold out is your water supply. This, frozen. But this is not. So not only do they keep things cold, but they'll keep things from freezing too. After a late lunch, I headed out down toward the river and set out some decoys. But I'm afraid the only birds I saw were these robins. However, when I left the riverbed, I saw these footprints.
Truck won't start. I got plenty of battery juice, so I guess that makes it easy as to where I'm going to hunt tomorrow morning. Somewhere within walking distance of here. I plan to stay out till Wednesday anyway, so probably Monday or Tuesday I'll call for a tow truck. Seems like the starter just doesn't want to go. So, there you go.
However, with my truck situation and those footprints I saw, I'm going to be sitting right there in the morning. So that next morning, I'm sitting there where those footprints were. I can hear a gobbler up on the roost, and I hear him come down. However, I also hear some hens down there, and he must have linked up with them, and he kind of moved off and wasn't interested in what I had to offer. After breakfast, I hear a gobbler down by the river, and so I suited up, went down there, and I spotted him. I set the camera up, and I ranged this dead tree right here at 80 yards, and the gobbler is actually down working in front of this tree right here. So I start belly crawling across this little tiny plateau, and he's down below me a little bit. I've got to get a few yards past this yucca bush. We got it done here on the second day, my first Rio. I was able to belly crawl on this guy. He was out here strutting all by himself. I was able to belly crawl, get close. And when I shoot, I like to be ready to run. And it was a good thing because he did run a little bit. We're gonna go ahead and endorse the tag here. I gotta get up to my belly pack for the zip tie. It's about 80 yards. Actually, it is 80 yards because that's why I ranged this tree from back there. It's 80 yards, so I got to go back 80 yards for my zip tie, but we'll go ahead and endorse this. We have a male. It is April the 15th.
That's a heavy bird. So here's how the hunt played out. I'm sitting here by my truck, putting all my stuff on, fixing to head down to the river, and I hear gobbling out kind of over where I was this morning. So I headed out that way, and I just kept working closer and closer. I figured he's either with a bunch of hens, and he's just gobbling every so often, or he's by himself and he's in that strut zone because it's that time of the day where they'll be off by themselves just strutting around. So I happened to spot him before he spotted me and was able to drop down and belly crawl in close. I obviously hit him on the first shot because I was able to run up and catch up to him. But I'm going to check out that pattern and put him on the pattern board because that load and choke has been pretty good to me in the past. But he was out there, I thought, right at about 40 yards. And it doesn't take much shooter error to make that pattern because it's only about this big around. Make it off just a little bit and you only catch him on the edge of the pattern. So I may have done that. But anyway, he's right here. And as far as hunting, that's it. My problem is my truck is dead. And so I'm going to call for a tow truck tomorrow. I got plenty of battery, but it just doesn't do anything when you do the key. So my adventure is not over yet.
All right, so let me jump back in and try to explain what I think went wrong. One was I ranged that one tree at 80 yards. He was strutting in front of this tree, which was about 80 yards. It was probably 83, 84 yards from where I'm standing at this view. Now, I ended up shooting him at this tree, which is even further back still from this view. So when I approached diagonally from this kind of the side, from the right-hand side, now those trees are more linear to me and they're further and further away. So my original idea of I got to close 40 yards because that tree is at 80 wasn't so true anymore. He was a kind of a big bird, and I'm probably not used to seeing that kind of a bird as far as size. And so when I saw him with my eyes, I thought he was in range. I've been known to shoot a couple of jakes, in my time, so a full big bird like that, he seemed a little closer than he was. So I think in the future what I need to make sure I do is range more than one tree, even in the heat of the moment like that, and also get the camera up higher so it can see better.
I hope you enjoyed that video, and if you did, hit the like and subscribe buttons. I'm going to put another couple of turkey hunts right here, and punch that subscribe button right up there. Thanks for watching.